Thank you, Jared. I think that segues into our next topic really, really naturally. So, topic number two we wanted to touch on was innovation, and so you just laid out a little bit of a case of more opinions equal more time, which to extend that a little bit means maybe less innovation. And so, I think to open this up, I'd say Farhan, if you'd like to open up about flat organizations as it relates to innovation, the floor is yours.
Yeah, it actually segues nicely because Jerry said something that I think I'm super worried about, which is that you want to break ties or have opinions of like the hierarchical leaders matter more than the individuals on the team, right? Because they're used as tiebreakers. I think that's dangerous because what you really do want is like an idea meritocracy. And you want that whatever the management layer looks like, whether flat or more hierarchical, to be more like air traffic control to help the teams not run into each other versus saying, well, I'm the director and I'm the most senior person here, so let's go with my opinion. And so the same idea makes sense for innovation because you do want to have the best ideas float to the top. And from what I see in some of your arguments, Jerry, I think you can still get them without having to worry about a very strict hierarchy. So, for example, you could have multiple teams working on things. That doesn't mean that they have to have individual managers to manage them. Even though it might be a team of, like I said, I was running a team of 120 people with which were probably 60 different teams. So it didn't matter that they didn't have their individual managers. I think that the idea of mistake making and allowing the teams to make their own mistakes and not being like rubber stamped or accountable by a manager is actually a very important concept. Because right now in big companies, what happens is you work on some project and then some executive wants to put their stamp on it or have to have sign off on it. And very late in the project, they might overrule some decision that was made very early on in a project versus having a flatter hierarchy and actually saying to the manager, hey, your job is not actually be accountable. It's to actually run this machine. Let the responsibility be pushed down to the individual teams. And if they go out, get feedback and or fail, that's okay because that's part of the experimental culture we're trying to build.